Okay, let me tell you something. Sunday in Rome is not just another match. This is the kind of moment you remember forever. The kind you'll tell your kids about. The kind that still gives you chills years later. Because Alex Eala has just punched her ticket to the biggest test of her young career. And the opponent, the most dominant player on the women's tour right now, Elena Rybakina. The stage is the Foro Italico, one of the most spectacular arenas in tennis. Ancient marble statues, passionate Italian crowds, and that signature red clay that has crowned legends and broken dreams for decades. 2 wins already this week. 2 big, gritty, hard-fought victories. And now comes the biggest one of all. Elena Rybakina, world number 2, Australian Open champion. The player they call the Ice Queen for a reason. Ice cold under pressure, ruthless in execution. Yeah, that Elena Rybakina. So before Sunday arrives, let's sit down, break this matchup apart, and ask the real question: are we about to witness the upset of the entire 2026 season? Because I genuinely believe something special is brewing in Rome. And you're not going to want to miss a single second of it. Let's start with Rybakina, because you can't talk about this match without understanding just how terrifying she's been this year. She walked into Melbourne in January and treated the entire Australian Open draw like a practice session. Took the title without ever looking truly tested. Then she went to Stuttgart and did it again. Back-to-back titles, barely breaking a sweat. Her win rate this season is sitting at 82%. In tennis terms, that is almost inhuman. Rybakina isn't just winning matches. She's dominating them. Big serve, heavy ball, and a mental game that makes her almost impossible to rattle once she gets rolling. On any surface, she's a nightmare matchup. On clay, where she's grown more and more dangerous, she becomes something else entirely. But here's where it gets interesting. Alex Eala is not walking into this match as a wide-eyed underdog who's happy to be there. She's coming in with momentum, confidence, and something we've rarely seen from her before: real belief on clay. After everything we've watched these past weeks, the Filipiniana moment, the regular conversations with Nadal, the mental growth, the third-set warrior mentality, this feels like the perfect stage for her next leap. Sunday at the Foro Italico. Alex Eala versus Elena Rybakina. This one is going to be unforgettable. She stands nearly 6 feet tall. She serves like a cannon. And when she's locked in, there is genuinely no obvious weakness. Elena Rybakina hits heavy from the baseline, reads the game at an elite level, and carries a mental composure that makes most opponents crumble before the score even gets close. On paper, this matchup looks completely one-sided. But we're not playing on paper. We're playing on clay. And clay, my friends, changes everything. It slows her explosive power just enough. It takes a fraction of that terrifying edge away. And if you've watched her over the past few weeks, something has looked slightly off. In Madrid, she dropped a match to Anastasia Potapova, ranked 38th in the world. Before that, she was grinding through 3-set battles against players she should have been dismissing more comfortably. There was a particularly telling moment against Gabriela Ruse, ranked 67th, where Rybakina nearly lost the third set 7-5. Let that sink in. The world number 2 and Australian Open champion, pushed to the brink by the 67th ranked player on clay. That is not the Ice Queen we saw dominating in Melbourne. That is a player still searching for her best version on the surface, and the search has been messy and uncomfortable. Alex needs to know that going in. There is a clear blueprint for how to beat her here, and it comes from exactly 1 year ago at this very tournament. Bianca Andreescu, ranked close to 100 at the time, walked onto the same red clay and beat Rybakina in straight sets. She didn't try to match power with power. She was smarter. She used heavy topspin to make the ball jump high on Rybakina's backhand and mixed in sharp slices to keep the ball dangerously low at her feet. When Rybakina is forced to bend low and dig balls out from her ankles, she becomes a different player. The errors start piling up. Frustration creeps in. Against Andreescu that day, she hit 33 unforced errors, double her usual rate. That's the door Alex Eala needs to walk through on Sunday. Now, let's talk about how she actually does it, because the tactics have to be perfect from the very first game. Rybakina's biggest weapon is her serve, currently the most dangerous in women's tennis. Thanks to her height, even her second serve kicks up high above shoulder level and feels like a first serve. If she gets her first serve percentage up to 75 to 80%, matches can disappear in a hurry. But clay softens that advantage. The ball grips and slows down, giving Alex a split second longer to read and react. The key for Alex on returns? Depth. She cannot afford to give Rybakina short balls to attack. Every return needs to land deep, push her back, and force her to generate power from behind the baseline. If Alex can neutralize the serve and then dictate with her own forehand and heavy topspin, the match becomes a completely different conversation. This is no longer just about talent. It's about execution, belief, and taking advantage of the one surface where the Ice Queen is still slightly mortal. Sunday at the Foro Italico. Alexandra Eala versus Elena Rybakina. Something special could be brewing. She cannot afford to push short replies back into the middle of the court. Because if she does, Rybakina will step around it and punish her instantly with that signature serve +1 forehand, a battering ram that ends points in 2 shots. Alex has to drive her returns deep, pin Rybakina behind the baseline, and force her to construct points from positions she doesn't love. We saw exactly that mindset work brilliantly earlier this week against Wang Xinyu. Alex kept the ball heavy and deep, controlled the baseline, and never gave her opponent room to breathe. That same approach has to carry into Sunday. When Rybakina is pushed back, her accuracy drops. Her ball striking becomes less crisp. And those unforced errors were waiting for start to appear. But pure baseline power alone won't be enough. Rybakina has feasted on that all year. What actually troubles her is rhythm disruption, slices that stay low, drop shots that drag her forward, changes of pace that force her to move in directions she doesn't want to go. A small but telling detail from her match against Jessica Pegula in Miami says everything. Rybakina missed 4 overheads in a single game. 4. A player of her height and athleticism. That's not a technical flaw, it's discomfort. She doesn't like being pulled into the forecourt and forced to finish points at the net. Alex can exploit that with smart, well-timed drop shots. It's high-risk tennis. Some will clip the tape and sail out. Some will sit up and get crushed. But safe tennis against the world number 2 is losing tennis. Alex has to be brave. She has to commit fully to her shots, even when the pressure feels suffocating, and trust the work she's put in this week. And it will get tight. Because here's the beautiful psychological truth of this matchup. Alexandra Eala walks onto that court with nothing to lose. She's the underdog by every measurable standard. Outside the Philippines, almost nobody expects her to win. That freedom is incredibly powerful. She can swing freely. She can go for lines without the weight of the world on her shoulders. Rybakina, on the other hand, is carrying something much heavier. She's a Grand Slam champion. She won the WTA finals. The world expects her to win, every single time. And on clay, where she's still searching for her best version, that expectation feels even heavier. We've seen how pressure can quietly suffocate even the best players. If Alex can build early momentum, reach for all or 5-all, and keep the scoreboard tight, every single point will start to feel bigger for Rybakina. The crowd, the occasion, the Foro Italico night atmosphere, it all adds up. That's when even Ice Queens can crack around the edges. Now, let's look at the actual numbers, because this isn't fantasy, it's analysis. Rybakina holds serve 76% of the time on clay. That's elite. For Alex to win this match, she needs to break that serve at least once every 4 service games. She must be clinical when she creates break points. No wasted opportunities. No double faults or wild forehands on big points. Last week, Anastasia Potapova converted 4 out of 6 break points against her. That kind of efficiency turns shocks into statements. Alex also needs to win more than 52% of points on Rybakina's second serve. It sounds like a small margin, but over 3 sets those points become everything. The one area I genuinely worry about for Alex is her slow starts. In recent losses to players like Mertens and Machova, she struggled to find rhythm early, and the matches ran away from her. She can't afford to spot Rybakina an early lead on Sunday. If she comes out firing from the first game, deep returns, variety, and that fearless mentality we saw in the third set against Freck, then this becomes a real fight. Sunday at the Foro Italico. Alexandra Eala versus Elena Rybakina. This could be the upset that changes everything. Against Rybakina, a slow start is almost certainly fatal. She will smell hesitation immediately and close the match out before Alex even finds her rhythm. So Alex has to be aggressive from the very first point of the very first game. No settling in. No feeling out process. Full throttle from the opening rally. Can Alexandra Eala pull off the biggest result of her career on Sunday in Rome? Honestly, if you look at the cold statistics, Rybakina should win. She's won 13 of her last 15 clay court matches. She's more experienced, more consistent. She's already proven she knows how to win big titles under pressure. But I've watched enough tennis to know that statistics don't account for a player who is completely dialed in, fearless, free, and playing the match of her life on a perfect afternoon in Rome, with everything to gain and nothing to lose. Alex has the tools for this. She has the heavy topspin, the slice, the variety, and the athletic movement to make Rybakina uncomfortable. She's seen the blueprint Bianca Andreescu left behind. She knows exactly where Rybakina cracks on clay. She knows where the errors live. All she has to do now is go out there and execute. Stay patient when the pressure builds. Be bold when the moment demands it. And leave every single ounce of fight she has on that red clay, so that when she walks off the court, win or lose, she knows she gave Elena Rybakina every problem she possibly could. That's all we ask. Rome is waiting.